I felt more bad for my buddy's car than I did for my car, but the absolute first thought that went through my head was, crap, I have to be down in Long Beach to send the car to Panama in 2 weeks, and now I have no car. I first heard about drifting, one of my buddies came over to borrow a helmet from me, and I was like, okay, because I've always like raced go-karts, ridden quad. I was like, all right, what do you need a helmet for? And he's like, well, my buddy's going up to Altamont, which is, you know, up in Tracy, and he's going to be doing like a drifting thing at the track. And I was like, oh, all right, yeah, you know, here's the helmet, you know, have fun, let me know how it is. Even before then, I saw it like San Jose Grand Prix. You know, you're a little kid, you don't know what's going on. I was like, yeah, this is cool, awesome, you know. And then after that, I was hooked. Like after I saw my buddy drift, I was like, looked into it, started doing research, look at what kind of cars are able to do it, and then ever since then, been hooked. I first started drifting, I turned 16, got my driver's license, and I bought my first rear-wheel drive car. 91 Nissan 300ZX. Big, heavy, kind of piece of a crap, but it was a cool car, and that's when I first started actually like trying to get into it and seeing if I could do a donut or whatever.
Ready?
Just start with that game.
Yeah, I love my life. Is that gonna be like on the Jay Pizarro? I'm originally from San Diego, California. I now live here in San Jose, California, and 32 years old as of a couple weeks ago. So my first impression about drifting was it was awesome. It was sick. It was kind of like, wow, that's cool, man. You know, the car's completely out of control. My cousins moved to San Diego from Yokosuka, Japan, and they had like all kinds of videos. I actually started going out and messing around with, you know, my 240SX and trying to like go around turns, like kicking the clutch and stuff like that. Spinning out mostly, I'll admit, it wasn't like easy at first because nobody was there teaching you or anything like that. It's kind of all learning from a video that was in Japanese.
The first event that I ever did was an Altamont event, which was just a small open track day to have fun. And we started playing around it there, and it was awesome, and people actually noticed that I was like decently good, and I got invited back to the competition. When I first heard about Formula Drift was when I actually started being decent at amateur drifting. And I always heard about, oh, there's this professional league that, you know, is pretty much runs drifting in the States. That if you're drifting in the States and you want to be good at it or you want to be professional, that's where you go. Formula, just kind of like a hype, a vibe, you know, that everyone talks about. Like, oh, this is what you're inspiring to do. So after I heard that, that's like where I set my sights. I want to be a Formula D driver, and that's what I'm going to do.
My name is Mark Arsenal. We're gonna try to drift this thing this weekend. Yeah. I own Fat Lace and I like drifting. What made me want to get into drifting was just after drifting my first time. It was like nothing I've ever experienced. I knew right away I wanted to buy a drift car. I mean, I was really into it. I mean, from 98 to 2000, but I didn't have the budget to buy a drift car. So I had thought of crazy things, you know, like let's make a drift board game, you know, just really get into random stuff. But I don't know, I thought it was cool. I actually drifted at Formula D once and crashed, but that pretty much ended my career in Formula D, just because I didn't really want to pursue that side. To me, it's not competition at all. I mean, it's turned into a competition sport. For me, it's more of when you think of like soul surfers or surfers that just surf just to surf, that's kind of like why we do it now. We're not trying to be number one at the sport. We just want to do it because it's you know, it's kind of like our lifestyle and it's fun.
And there's a lot of camaraderie, like everybody's kind of together on it, you know. Everybody wants to help each other progress. There's competition, but more than anything, it's fun, right? So you get support there. It's definitely like family, like, you know, like everybody's like really tight. You know, a lot of my best friends now are from the drifting community, so it means a whole lot. You know, like I hang out with everybody that, you know, I have pretty much ever drifted with. Drifting in general, like for me, it became a lifestyle. It was the main motorsport, right? For me, I guess past 10 years, right? I've been kind of involved in?
Yeah, it's more of like camaraderie with friends, you know, like we've got a lot of friends that are into the same thing, like whether it's riding track bikes or riding motorcycles. It's the same thing with drifting. You just want to do it because it's fun, and then you could do it with a lot of your friends. It's cool. I mean, I think as far as drifting affecting my life, I think I do spend quite a bit of time working on my car and make sure it's set up for drifting, but I don't like live and sleep drifting anymore. I used to, but nowadays pretty much it's just more of an activity like racing bikes. It's more of a hobby. I mean, in the beginning, obviously, when drifting was in its infancy, a lot of my friends that weren't into this sport have gone into it. But you see that, you know, it tapers off every now and then, you know, like some people stick with it, some people don't. This now for us, it's a hobby, so it's something that we like to do like consistently.
A typical amateur event is real kickback. You show up, there's a driver's meeting, you got your practice, and then you start competing. You know, it's real laid back, nothing serious. You know, you do your own thing. Formula D, on the other hand, completely different. It's real, almost uptight at the fact you got to show up 2 days early because you have pre-tech on your car. So you have to show up a day just to get your car teched, unload it off the trailer, make sure everything's up to spec, and that's it. That's all you do in one day. And there's another day that has practice before everything, which is a full day of practice, like 4 hours, which isn't even that much because, you know, there's 60 cars out there, so you get a couple of runs. After practice, you have the first day of qualifying.
Anybody doing donuts or anything like crazy, you know, out of the ordinary, if you're a kid, you know, and I was like one of those kids with like a, you know, that was like pretty dumb. I want to do anything crazy. Yeah, man, there's a ton of support, right? I mean, the drifting community or anybody that lives the lifestyle is just really supportive. You know, that's one of the things that, you know, kind of pulled me into the whole drifting lifestyle is that everybody's really cool, really supportive.
I would say close friendship. I mean, a lot of times I'll be at a Formula D event and I've never met the guy before in my life, another driver, and then we'll start talking, I'll ask him about his car, and then all of a sudden, you know, he's your best friend. It's a really close-knit community, like, okay, yeah, I'm gonna help this guy out because he's in the same boat that I am, you know? It's real understanding that everyone knows that it's tough, man, it's tough making it out there, and that's why people are down to help you out, and it really brings a community together.
My philosophy now is not all about competition. I mean, I have a lot of friends that, you know, we have friends that we sponsor. As far as the company goes, we sponsor drifters that do go that route and do the competition route. I mean, it's good exposure for us, but for us ourselves, when we do rent out racetracks and courses, we do it for fun.